Hey there, welcome to Stereo-Atypical. I'm Michelle, this is my co-host,
Alyssa.
and we are here bringing another episode to all of you. So this week we are going to be talking about infatuation versus love. That's going to be an interesting one. What do you think, Alyssa?
I got some things to say.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought first maybe we could talk about the difference between the two, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Sounds
So
good.
infatuation, some people also call it the honeymoon phase. Um, that is usually very short term.
I
Sometimes
would
it,
give it like a
yeah.
month.
Yeah, so I looked it up, and the honeymoon phase usually lasts between 3 to 6 months, can be up to 2 years, but infatuation is slightly different in that sometimes it doesn't even lead to a relationship. It's just purely physical. And it can lead to a relationship. It can also be a part of a relationship, but it is not very long lasting. So, infatuation is definitely very physical. It's very fantasy based. It's based off of the person's perfections and like an obsession with a person. And basically, usually it's very sexual. And it is very what's you're looking at what's best for you and not so much what's best for the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas love is more reality based and you love the person as a whole. And so it's more than just physical. It is very much more starting out as like a friendship or like more based off of the person's values, beliefs, like the personality, uh, instead of the physical. And it also is very secure. You're
Mm-hmm.
not worried about like losing the other person
Yeah.
as much. It's also very independent. Like the two people are very independent, but they come together to make something bigger.
Right.
Um, so it's appreciative, but not obsessive.
Correct.
And it's also putting the other person before you. So it's what's best for the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So based off of that, um, what do you, what are your experiences with these two?
I had someone who was infatuated with the idea of me for 2 years, where I, on the other hand, probably was same. At this point in time, if I look back, it was probably more of an infatuation with the idea of what was happening, but not with him. So basically, what we're gonna call this, what are we calling him? I'm gonna protect for name's sake. Call him Ross. It's very far from his name, so it's very good. Ross and I met in 2021. Yeah, 2021. We broke up in 2023. Ross and I moved in together in 2023. So when Ross and I met, I didn't think it was going to lead into a relationship. He looked like a fun guy, and I was just like having fun. I wasn't really wanting a relationship at the time, but I was wanting to see if I could connect with somebody in that kind of way, because, having a relationship is nice. So if it happened, it happened. So Ross and I met, and it happened where we had thought we had a good connection. I met his friends immediately, and literally like 2 weeks into us being like in a relationship, technically, he took me to upstate with him and a bunch of friends, and like we hung out and stuff and whatever. So, we had a nice honeymoon phase, as you talked about. But our honeymoon phase lasted about a month. because then after that, things got a little funky-dory, and not in a good way. This person, Ross, showed his true colors early on, and I chose to dismiss them because I didn't want to be like, wow, a mama's boy. I hear so many bad things about those. I didn't want to immediately vote that in the red flag pile of things, which I think was a good thing for me to do, but it was wrong. So like Ross lived with his parents, and for me to like go over and stay the night with Ross, it would also be in his parents' apartment. And Ross would have me come over a lot in the beginning. And I wouldn't ask Ross. Ross would just be like, yo, you coming? And I was like, yeah, I'm coming. And eventually, Ross stopped asking. And so then I started questioning. I was like, Ross, did you want me to come over? And he was like, I mean, if you want to. And that's when I noticed like a funky shift. And I was like, okay, weird. Well, Ross just let me come over, and then Ross asked me to spend a month with him in December when his parents left to a trip that they went on for a month. So I was living there for a month. And that's when I said, I love you. And then Ross told me later on in our relationship that he didn't love me, but felt obligated because I said I love you to then tell me that he loved me, which he waited on, by the way, for weeks before he said it. Ross would invite his friends over, and I would come home from work and his friends would be there. And I have endometriosis, as we've talked about. Okay. And when I was in severe pain, Ross did not give two craps and had all of his friends over. And I was there on the bed. It was in a basement, y'all. I lived in a basement. And Ross was like, oh, hope you're doing good. And his buddies were like, yeah, hope you're fine, man. And I was crying on the bed. That's not love, my friend. That's infatuation. Because it's an infatuation with an idea, which is, I think, where a lot of infatuation comes from. I was infatuated with the idea that I found a partner to be with. And then eventually that infatuation led me to just going along with it because I thought I was supposed to marry him because we'd been together for 2 years. So I thought that's how my life was going to go. And it didn't make me happy. But I just was like, well, it's been this long, like it's too late.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then that's why we broke up, because of the infatuation.
So my story of infatuation. So, like we were saying earlier, infatuation is definitely very physical, and it's like it's temporary, so it goes away. Like towards the end of your story, there, it definitely went away. And he was very much, yeah, he was very much showing his true colors there. Yeah. But my story, I was in high school, and I have always dated men that are a little bit older than me. Say what you will about that. And so, yeah, I dated a guy that was, I think I was 16, and so he was, I think he was 22 or so. Yeah.
Michelle.
And he was very physical. And I honestly didn't even want to date him at first. Like, being 100% honest, I did turn him down at first, but he was very insistent. And me being the naive young girl that I was like, I'll just go on a date with him and then we'll be fine, right? And when I went out with him, I liked the idea of a relationship.
That came back around. The idea.
Yeah. I liked the idea. And so I let it like linger around a little bit, and after a month, I wanted out. right? And so I tried to break up with him. It did not go well. And I got messages saying that basically he was going to himself if
Ooh.
I broke up with him. And so I stayed because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want anything to happen to him. I just didn't want to be in a relationship. So I stayed, and about a month later, this guy, he proposed. I don't know how he thought all of a sudden, I
You
was
would
there
have.
yet as a 16-year-old in high school. But he proposed, and I was
Okay.
like, that's not gonna happen, and I didn't say anything really. Like I went and just like went with the flow. But there was that. And then he also, this is why I say it's infatuation. Like I said earlier, he was very physical, and I had this boundary of I did not want to have sex until I was married,
Mm-hmm.
or at the very least in a very secure relationship that is long term.
Right.
And he decided when we were at his place, he lived with his parents still, and we were just like cuddling, which I was fine with. And then all of a sudden he just decided that was the time that we were going to go all the way.
Uh-huh.
And I pushed him off of me and ran. I ran all the way home, and I broke up with him after that. But that entire relationship was just physical. That was all he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 months in, you know, and he didn't respect my beliefs. He didn't respect who I was. It was just, he was very attracted to me physically, and he wanted what he wanted, and he liked the idea of it. You know what I mean? Which is very different to my current relationship as well. So I will get
It
into that after
is.
you.
It's very different than
Mm-hmm.
with your current fiance. Yeah.
I said yes this time.
Wait. Yeah. Yep. You said yes this time. Oh man, I was there. I was there.
Yeah.
I think
It's the difference between infatuation and love.
and love.
Also, yes for love.
Period. Now, don't get us wrong, listeners and viewers. Infatuation should be there. Period. I think infatuation and love go hand in hand. Because at first, when you know someone, like you're getting to like date them, you become infatuated with them for like however long your honeymoon phase is. Luckily, like I don't know if my current, why do I say current? I don't know if my boyfriend would agree. I don't know where he thinks he is in his phase things, but for me, the infatuation phase was short lived. I think maybe about like the first month of like getting to know him, I was just like, this man is better than butter on bread. Like, oh, the first month was like insane. But I think after that, like my infatuation started turning into something else. And now I'm there. Y'all can get it. You can infer. Hopefully you're smart listeners. I think you are. But I think that having infatuation, if there is something that is meant to happen after the infatuation, it will help lead you there.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's not so much, I don't know. I don't know if it would be infatuation, but it's more like just deep rooted
Yeah,
love for the person. You know what I mean? Like
I think
it's
so.
kind of like it's not quite obsession,
No.
but
Mm-mm.
like it's Yeah, it's
you
just like
know?
taking an interest in your partner, like
Mm-hmm.
in every aspect of your partner, which I think
Right.
is very, very healthy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. My current guy, it's definitely been way different than I thought it was gonna be because I honestly never thought I was gonna get married. 100%.
She didn't.
I did not. I fully thought I was going to be single and I was going to adopt, and that was it. Um, but God has really blessed me with this man because he's wonderful. He's definitely a great guy, and he respects me and my beliefs, and he is supportive
Mm-hmm.
and just a lovely lovely guy. But
Yes.
the main difference is that like he loves me way beyond the physical. He's actually been very committed to respecting my belief in that aspect. So we
Mm-hmm.
we haven't even gone that far, you know.
Mm-mm.
Um, but in every other way, we're very deep, we're very intimate, and that's love, friendship first, because that person that you're with you're going to be with for the rest of your life, hopefully. And you have to have something more than physical. You have to have a true friendship there.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's going to get really, really boring and
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to last.
No.
Uh, and so, yeah, I think that's the main difference. And we've been together since December, well, really before then, but like our first real in person date was December 2022.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, but we've been together since I think it was more like the end of October, November uh, time of that year. So it's
Yeah.
been about, I would say, a year and a half of us really being together, um, which is crazy. And we found that obviously there's a lot of ups and downs in relationships, but it's been quite the journey where you keep learning new things about your partner. Like I
You
think
do.
that's the key to long-term relationships is communication, one,
Oh.
but also like continuing to be curious and interested in their interests and like trying new things and being romantic, like making an effort to continue to be romantic and just like treating the other person how you want to be treated. So
Yeah.
we like we have had quite the ups and downs in our relationship. But I feel like every time we've had a down, like we got through it. One with the communication and the empathy and
Mm-hmm.
saying you're sorry. My goodness, that's something a lot of people struggle with. Is just
Yeah.
like actually apologizing and then the other person forgiving.
Like meaning
Um,
it.
yeah, but it means so much to actually apologize instead of just trying to brush it under the rug. But yeah, those things and like really trying to keep interested and curious. Um, so doing those things like after those downs, like we always like spring back. Like this last down. Uh, just today we were talking about okay, well, so I think we should look at houses. Like
And
we
and
just
like
get stronger.
it's so funny because I know about the last like down, and like without like saying too much or anything, it was a down, y'all. And I was like, wow, that's some stuff. And she was like, yeah, it's some stuff. And she texted me all of a sudden, and I was with my boyfriend because my boyfriend also he gets the privilege of knowing this down as well because he's just Michelle and I are just super close. So that's just, we're okay with our partners knowing stuff like that about each other. To which she texted me and was like, everything is great. And I was like, great. And then I told my boyfriend, I said, everything is great. And he said, everything is great? And I said, yeah, everything is great. He said, tell me the tea. Without saying, tell me the tea, he would never. But, like, it was great because we were all able to just be like, oh, cool. No worries here. And, like, when she says everything is great, she literally means, like, it's back to no problem. Like, back to normal. Like, everything's hunky-dory. It's all chilling.
Yep.
And it's just great. Literally. So
100%. Like,
yeah.
And I have to say, I do tend to read into things and like overthink, but like I don't like I try not to take that out on the other person, but I do sit in those thoughts, you know what I mean? And so this last time I was like, I'm gonna write this big old list and I'm gonna take it to him and see
it was a big old list.
What he says. And this man, I have to give it to him. He is just a wonderful, wonderful man, because he, at every single point he listened, we talked about it, and he was like, you have a point. Let's work on that. Oh. And every single point, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is the most understanding man I have ever met. And that's true love, quite frankly. Yeah. And it does just come down to communication, really, because I try my best to bring up things when they happen in the moment, but sometimes things, like, you can't bring things up when, you know, you're in public, or, you know, there's things going on and everything's chaotic, you know, and so things fall through the cracks sometimes. And so yeah, it was a big long list, and he was just like, yeah, let's work on it.
And he's the kind of guy to do that.
Yeah, I was like, you are the most, like, beautiful person in the world. Let's do this.
Yeah, so, and now, you know, you got some exciting news, too, on that front, and I'm excited for you.
Mm-hmm. Me too. So, I looked up some ways for people to break out of, like, an unhealthy infatuation with somebody as well, which I thought might be, you know, helpful for some people. Ross.
Yeah, speaking of Ross, I hope everyone here knows I saw his dad the other day.
Oof.
Yeah. And I told Shelly this story, but y'all need to know because it had me cackling in my boots, okay? I was crying with laughter. I'm a nanny, as we all know, and I was pushing the stroller, and at that point, me and my boyfriend were going out to a show after work. And listen, y'all, I be dressing up, okay? I try to look nice, okay? So I looked nice. And looked real cute. Mm-hmm. It was like Friday or something. I didn't even tell him this because I was like, this is so like irrelevant to us that I was just like, whatever. But y'all can know because it's funny. So I'm pushing the stroller and I'm like walking my music and I'm like, I am that lady in the street. You know, I was like jamming, right? I look great. I'm feeling sexy. I had like jeans, a nice belt, some boots. I was like, yes, right? His father comes driving by in the car. And for video viewers, this is the look he gave. So he saw me and I waved at him and he goes, and he just looked mortified. I was like, and I started cackling when he went by. Y'all know why? This man hasn't heard from me for like almost a year, at least, right? And at this point, he has no idea what I do for a living, who I'm with, like whatever. This man thought I had a baby. This was hilarious. Oh, I almost peed myself in the street. So I get home and I tell my boss, we get back to their apartment, I tell my boss, and my boss starts cackling. He knew immediately that Ross's father thought I had a child. And oh my gosh, it was so funny. It's like amazing.
Oh the timeline it doesn't even work out though. Like it's so hilarious, but like when you left, you were like teeny little. Like where are you hiding it?
I have no idea.
You
Girl,
know?
I just got quick abs. They right back
Yeah, there
after
you
the
go.
birth. It was so funny. It's like
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, love that.
Anyway, back to the seriousness of this episode, but I wanted to bring that in because it was kind of in the same realm of the episode, so.
Well, thank you for that. That's hilarious. Okay, we were talking about how to break unhealthy infatuation, Ross.
Yes.
So I got this from a site called spunout.ie.
Okay.
And so basically, here's a few ideas. So, since infatuation is very obsessive and like possessive, these ideas are ways to basically shift your focus a little bit and step back so that you're able to give your partner some space and you're able to see things a little bit more clearly. So the first thing, definitely keeping up with your family and friends, like other people in your life. Wow.
I have multiple, thank you.
Yeah, I feel that. So keep up with other people in your life, and make time for other people, make time for yourself, make time for your interests and your hobbies, the things that you have wanted to do for your entire life and you've been putting off because of current situations.
Ross.
Look after yourself. Make some time for some self-care, to refocus, to, revisit some, old memories or thoughts, that you have kind of avoided, maybe, so that you can process and so that you can, grow a little bit and, refocus. And that kind of ties in with the last thing, which is just remembering your own worth. Because a lot of times when you are so obsessed with someone else or you don't trust that other person, it usually is a reflection of, past traumas or, what has happened to you in the past. And that is kind of becoming your lens for how you are viewing your current situation.
Right.
And sometimes you relive traumas or you basically try to take your power back or that kind of stuff in an unhealthy way, which is not good. And so just maybe even seeing a therapist, that would be great. They can help you work through that. They can help you put together a life plan even for, other interests, other hobbies, and come up with an idea of where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, and help you to get like realistic milestones to get you there. And that can help you to shift your focus as well. So,
and also on topic of therapy, don't be afraid to go to couples therapy, because sometimes infatuation doesn't happen on its own. Sometimes it's how someone was treating you for a little bit and then they stop treating you like that, and then you're infatuated with the idea of how they used to treat you and they're not treating you like that anymore. Right? So then that's a couples thing. That needs to be talked about, and sometimes a professional can help with that. And then don't gaslight your partner either when it comes to like asking for therapy or saying, hey, we need to get therapy. So like Ross, what he did to me, he would look at me sporadically in our relationship and be like, you need therapy. and would just like randomly tell me I need therapy. I'm not sure why. Um, I actually feel more stable than I have in years. I'm very mentally healthy. I'm enjoying my life, and I think I'm doing pretty good. Now, there's nothing wrong with therapy at all. I've had a lot of it in my life, and trust me, if
Yeah.
I needed more therapy, I am the first to say I'm going to go back to therapy. That was
Mm-hmm.
never something that I was like afraid to do. Like, I'll go back if I need therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Now, during the breakup scene of Ross and I had, before I realized I had just wanted to keep my home and life, and it wasn't Ross that I was feared of losing, right? Before I realized that, I went, maybe we should try couples therapy. You know what he said?
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't need that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that just kind of re-emphasizes the need for therapy, quite frankly, because
Mm-hmm.
that if someone is so against getting therapy, usually it's because they don't want something exposed to either them or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And it, I think, I mean, it was the right call in the end because you definitely needed to get out of that relationship. But
Right, because now I'm here. Yeah.
yeah, but I do think he could definitely benefit from therapy. I think everyone can. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
went to therapy as well, and I loved it. Honestly, I have even been thinking about getting it again so that I can, focus on some other things. But I think it's really healthy because it's really good to be open with the people in your life and to be able to share things and be able to work through things with the people in your life. But
Yeah.
there's something really special and really helpful about having someone who is not, they have no stake in your life whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so they're not biased. They're able to just hear your thoughts clearly and help you make sense of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really great. I think everybody can benefit from that.
I agree. I agree. And I think that's why, like, I'm not sure why Ross ever mentioned therapy to me, but it's just because he didn't like that I cried a lot. As part of the reason. When most of the reason I was crying was because Ross made me cry a lot. so that so then that just reemphasizes the couples therapy that could have been needed. So
Yeah. Yeah. You think?
uh and like Michelle knows, I'm not even exaggerating. I cried like every day in that relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm not even exaggerating. It was so unhealthy and so disgusting. Like looking back at it, it's nauseating that I like submitted myself to that for 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, like it's really sad. And so that's why like we're bringing this up today, because if you are in that same place that I was in, now you have ways to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stay in it.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like oftentimes we get so focused on not wanting to lose what we have when the minute we let go and we let God just take it, he blesses us. He blesses us with the biggest blessing ever, and he's just
Mm-hmm.
waiting for us to finally surrender the
Surrender
things
the
that we
reins.
don't up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but we're both in happy, healthy relationships now.
Yeah.
Yay!
Crazy. And we're going to your wedding.
Great,
You'll get to meet him.
be great.
I know. I'm excited.
I got some
Why am I
questions for
more?
him.
I know you do.
Namely, why are you avoiding me?
He's just a nervous guy, okay?
I know.
He's just nervous. I also
I
think it's
wish he.
really Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wish he wasn't avoiding me though, because I actually genuinely like this one. I'm rooting for him. I'm supportive. Don't avoid me.
I think he's just a nervous Nelly. I think he's just nervous, and I don't want to like pressure him or anything, which is why I'm like, I highly doubt he's watching this far into the podcast now to where I'm able to like say things a little more freely. But I that's why I'm not like stressing it or anything, because I'm like, I'm letting him take his time, but I'm also just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
And I think that's something in my last relationship that I didn't get to experience. And it was just enjoying every step of the relationship.
Yeah.
Because I'm loving it more than I loved September, like when we were together all the time and going to shows and like getting to know each other for the first time and all those like, oh, feelings. Like, it's only gotten better. There's not a, I don't think there's a way on this earth I can physically exclaim how much better that it has gotten, because I don't think there's anyone on this earth who will understand how much I love this man. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand it. Can you imagine if I was still in the relationship with Ross and missing out on all of this?
You
I
don't
know.
know how many times, like, when you were in the last relationship, that I wanted to jump through the phone and have a talk with this man. Or should I
Punch
say
Ross.
boy?
Oh, he was younger than me. He
Yeah,
was
I'm
younger
just
than
talking
me.
about his behavior. It was very boy-like.
Yeah. Very boy-like. And he just wants to... he told he told me this one time. He was like, like, I just think I want you to have sex with another woman. And I was like, thank you, but I'm straight. And that would be wrong of a straight woman to sleep with a lesbian and or bisexual woman, because that's not my orientation. And that would be wildly incorrect. But then it gets worse. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I can block it out if need be, but I'm going to say it anyway. It couldn't be with a white woman. It had to be with an African American woman. And I really think he
Why?
needs to, I don't know, he needs to figure out what his feelings were. And then on top, he wanted to watch. I
Okay. Well, that's weird.
Ross is interesting. I think I can actually leave that in because we have to mark it as explicit anyway, because we talked about some stuff, so I can leave it.
Yeah.
And you know what, Ross? If you ever listen to this podcast, that's right. I dirtied the water. I did. People know your dirty secrets. They're weird.
That's so weird. That's so, like, and this is the, like, I always kind of wanted to go into psychology one day. And this is
Yeah.
that aspect of me where I'm like, why? Like, what caused him to want that? Like,
Right.
what happened to even plant that idea in his head? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And also, what were you watching?
Mm-hmm.
And don't picture me while you watch it.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one time, it was like, also, I don't even feel bad that I'm airing this out because no one knows who this is. He like ended up getting this addiction to it that was so bad that like we didn't have any form of intimacy anymore. And I'm talking about anything. I'm not talking about just like sex. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like kisses, hand holding, like stuff like that. Like he just was not intimate with me anymore.
Yeah.
Intimacy came to a halt. And we're not talking about for a couple of weeks, people. We're talking months. Michelle knows. It was months long where I would cry because I was like, he just, like, he doesn't love me anymore. He doesn't feel, like, I don't know what I did wrong. Like, this is so weird. Yet he would still want me, like, around. So it was just really, it was odd. And now, like, with my boyfriend, he, like, has never once made me feel that way. And it's been so nice. And like, even like just small gestures of intimacy, like now, like means so much. Like the other day, he kissed me on the forehead in public. Girl, I melted. About passed out on the floor. This. Thank you. By the way, this was a viewer suggestion. So thank you to our viewer. I don't know. I think it shows the names of the viewer, not like their actual names, but I think on the app it shows their screen name, their username, if you will. So I would like to like thank you guys by your screen names, I guess. I think that would be cool. I know who this person is, so the screen name is kind of
I have an idea as well.
But thank you, Data Buoy. I appreciate you. She knows who this is too. It's fitting. I like it. I'm not laughing because I don't like it. I just think it's cute. I like it. So thank you for your suggestion.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was like, we went longer than we planned on it because we got some good stuff. So that was great.
Yeah. And if anybody has any more suggestions, there's the prompt box at the end where you can submit ideas there, or you can message us privately. And we would love to turn your idea into an episode. So
we would, because we had a lot of fun with this one.
Yes. Thank you, Data Buoy. Is that what it was?
Data Buoy. DATABUOY. Data Buoy. It's data, like that, like, ha ha ha. Funny. Like
I love you.
Love you too. I just think it's great. I like it.
All right. So, do we want to move on to our quiz section?
We shall. But I'm really enjoying Data Buoy. Anyway.
Data Buoy.
Data Buoy. But yeah, also, you can also put in your request if you don't want your name shouted out. We can omit. But I think it's nice to give thanks where thanks is due. So thank you, sir.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah. And hey, if anyone has any suggestions also for games at the end, we are all ears, because it doesn't always have to be like French or Spanish or whatnot. Like, we can make it something else as well.
I agree. We could play Hangman.
Yes, we could. Do you want to play Hangman?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do it, or shall I?
What if we both do one?
Okay. I have to figure out what I want to do.
I do too. I have to... Don't mind me, just disappearing off the screen.
This is unplanned.
I'm coming back. I didn't want to hit my mic. Also, did I ever explain the poop equals excrement on this podcast? No, I don't think I did.
No?
Cool. So, oh, you got a snort out of me. So, like I said, lovely boyfriend. He's great. This is my acting notebook. And I got in on his family's thing. His sisters call him a poop. He calls them a poop. Now I'm a poop. Okay, so everyone's a poop. So like in his like card I wrote him yesterday, I said, "Good job, poop. Proud of you, adore you." Naturally, poop. He got a hold of my acting workbook, and now this is where I put like a bunch of acting stuff. And if you can see this beautiful, I've never shown this to you, Michelle. This is beautiful. It's my favorite work of art. Poop equals excrement with a poop emoji. That is all.
Okay.
To the Hangman.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. I just enjoy that little fact that it's there. So I figured everyone would enjoy the fact that poop equals excrement, if you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. So, is that like his new nickname is excrement?
Maybe I should just start calling him excrement.
That's what I got from that. I don't know about anybody else, but
Okay. There's going to be a poll at the end of this video. Tell me what I should call my boyfriend. I'll put poop, excrement, and we'll put a couple more down the list. Y'all can pick. All right. We got a handsome man here.
Okay, I'm set. I don't know how we're gonna do this though, because on my side, your video's a little fuzzy, so I'm not gonna be able to see how many letters or what. You know?
Okay. I'm sending you a picture.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Will that work?
Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to exit that. Just tell me like what to write and I'll write it on mine.
Okay. It's 4 words.
Okay.
Blank, blank, blank. Apostrophe, blank, blank. Space. Blank, blank. Space. Blank, 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 blank. 4 blanks.
Okay.
Space. 6 blanks.
Okay.
All right, and what about you?
Is it a question or exclamation or period?
Exclamation. I like
exclamation. That. Love it. So is mine. Mine is
Great.
3 words.
Oh.
Okay. The first one is 4 spaces. Then a space, and then 5. Then a space, and then 2.
Hi.
Exclamation point.
Oh, exclamation point.
All right. Do you want to go first, or should I?
You can.
For guessing? Or
yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Let me write them in first. Okay. That's it. So you have 1 O.
Only
and it's
one?
on this.
The
First
second
word.
one?
First word, second letter.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, there's 2. First word.
Yes.
And then you have the second word, second blank.
Okay. E.
Yes. So you got 3 of those. So you got 1. This is, by the way, guys, this is a lot harder than you would think because you have to fill in, then you have to go back. It's crazy. Okay. First word, last blank.
Yeah.
Okay. Third word, second blank.
Oh, I know what it is.
And
You're
then
my best friend.
Yeah. You didn't get hung.
Great minds think alike.
Okay, my turn.
Okay.
I'm going with an O.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them. It's the second spot in the first word.
The first word? Okay. An E?
Yes. You got 2 of those. The last letter on the first word and the second letter of the last word.
The second letter of the last word? Okay. An L? No? Okay.
I'm sorry.
I give myself a head. Can I put hair on it? I'm going to put little spikies because I have spiky hair. That look beautiful. Okay. This one. Yours is a little more difficult, I feel like. I'm
I
trying to
think
think
you'll
where your
get
head
it.
went. We're gonna go with vowel. I want to buy a vowel A
Okay.
because sometimes an A is always there, but maybe not.
An A?
Okay, so A is out. Okay.
Sorry, I'm hitting all the lights.
All right. Well, we'll go with U.
Okay. U. Melissa. No.
Okay.
You got an arm.
Oh, I gave myself a leg.
Okay.
I kept my arms. I don't know. M.
Wait, what?
M.
Yes. There is the third letter of the first word and the first letter of the last word.
Is there a C?
Yes, there is. You know where it is, so I'm not going to tell you.
The first word?
Mm-hmm.
See, but then I'm thrown off because there's no A, so this word is not what it could be. So
It's 5 letters.
I know, I see. But there's no A.
Nope.
That's why this is. It's not
What
going.
other vowels are there?
There's an I.
You want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the second and the fourth.
The second and the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think.
This. Come on.
It's like a Wordle.
It looks a little weird.
It looks weird right now. Yeah. If anyone wants to see, this is what it looks like right now, and you can tell it looks a little strange. Trying to figure out that middle word.
We were just talking about this earlier today or the other day. Both of them, really.
It's not knitting or crocheting, I'll tell you that right now.
Come what me?
This is hard with the eyes. No idea. Trying to think of what we were talking about.
We were talking about the house and, you know, how there's going to be a lot of people. And so you should come what me earlier.
Oh, visit.
Visit. There you go. You got it.
See, that was hard because my brain was like, come back, come back, come back, come back.
Come back me?
Yeah, my brain is going to come back to me is how my brain is going with it. And I was just like, no, that's not right.
I mean, that would be
It's the
me
same
to
gist.
you, though. I would have to come back to you. What?
That's true.
Yeah. What'd you say, though?
I said it was in the same like area, same realm, same gist. Visit back me.
Come and visit me. You're my best friend.
Come visit me. You're my best friend. It actually worked out because I had yours on top.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
See?
I had mine that way in mine, too. It was like left to right. Like here. I just closed it, but I'll open it back up. Oop.
Oh, yeah. Nice. We are iconic.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Okay, well, that is the end of our podcast for today because we are over time, but not much. Y'all know how we just get going. I'll find something to get rid of so that way you're not sitting here for an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour, but not 10. So.
All right. We will talk to you guys next time.
Yeah, we will. Bye, guys.
Bye.